What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. 5 days to go. Still no signings in. Desperate times, call for desperate measures, and we got a whole lot of updates to get through today.
Updates? Where's the action? Come on. All I'm seeing is tumbleweed go across the Tottenham Stadium at the moment. We are 5 days from the deadline. It is panic stations, worrying times at the Tottenham Stadium. I'm sure Lange, Fabio, they're calling everyone they can to get some sort of deal done. But right now, yeah, I think every Tottenham fan is extremely worried.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels as though at this moment in time, Tottenham, the people running Tottenham, Daniel Levy, Johan Lang, and people like that, are just scrambling around, making calls to anyone and everyone and anyone that they can at this moment in time, whether they're interested, whether clubs are interested in selling. It just seems like panic stations, all hands on deck, and an absolute shit show at this moment.
Yeah, and that's due to the, it shouldn't be this at this point, 5 days to the deadline. It's ridiculous we've left it. I understand what's happened and what's happened with certain deals like Gibbs White and Eze, and look, you can have sympathy with some, you can have no sympathy with others, but why is it always us that leaves ourselves in this situation?
It's true.
You should never let deals drag on as long as we've let them drag on. It's ridiculous.
100%. It is something that just it keeps happening. It's happened time and time again. We've seen this story before. But I would say as well, in this current transfer market, it does seem to be the same for quite a few clubs. West Ham completely in the mud, but they're in a similar situation. Newcastle in a similar situation. Villa, I don't know what's going on with Villa. Are they planning to bring in anyone?
I agree with you. The difference between us and them is they've got massive PSR issues and we don't.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for us to be in this situation.
100%. Don't disagree. Completely agree, actually. So look, an absolute shit show. And we're going to try and piece together what we can piece together in this Tottenham update and keep you guys informed and updated in what is going around the last 24 hours in Tottenham transfer news. And starting off with our first, the first one is Savinho.
Oh, come on. Come on, lad.
Miguel Delaney says Tottenham could resurrect a move for Man City winger Miguel Savinho, but are currently prioritising other alternative targets. Morgan Rogers remains an ideal signing, but the difficulty in doing that deal means that Spurs are looking at Lucas Paqueta, Xavi Simons, Ademola Lookman, and Magnus Akilush. So we've got various updates on pretty much all those players, apart from Akilush, which we'll get into in a minute. But sticking on Savinho, Fabrizio Romano gave us an update last night.
Let me guess.
Guess what he said?
Tottenham's still interested in the deal. They're prepared to pay a certain amount, but it's all dependent on Man City finding a replacement.
Well, nearly word for word spot on, but I'll read it for you guys anyway. It says, Tottenham Hotspur have not left the table yet for Savinho. They have a hope to sign him, but it still depends on, I'll let you finish the rest.
Man City finding a replacement. Way, another update. Another update from Romano.
Says it still depends on Man City and their attempts to sign Rodrigo.
Oh, well, whatever.
Spurs are still waiting for the green light.
God, he's going to tweet that another 50 times between now and deadline. And when the window's closed, he's going to go, in January, Spurs are going to go back in Savinho, but it's dependent on City finding a replacement. I'm so done with that deal, honestly. I think it's dead. I think it's been dead for a while. Resurrect, though, that's a new word we haven't had yet. It's like a religious calling. He's going to resurrect him from the dead. Hail Mary. Let's just hope Spurs... Look, we're not getting Savinho. I'm not even going to say let's hope we get it done, because I think if there was going to be any movement, I think we probably would have had it already. There's no movement in the Rodrigo deal, it seems, at the moment. And even if there is, you're talking about a big money deal happening very late in the window. Now, it's possible, there's talk of, Liverpool going back in for Isaac for a British record fee. And so there is, I'm not saying it's impossible to have big deals late in the window. I'm just saying, if you're relying on Man City paying near 100 million for you to get your signing done, then that doesn't seem like a realistic situation. Yeah,
and also the reality of Man City not really wanting to sell Savinho, so why would they be in any rush to bring in and do a big money deal for Rodrigo?
Exactly. So I think the whole thing just smacks of desperation. I think there was maybe a time where it was, a few weeks ago when there was looking a bit more likely when there was time left in this window. With 5 days left. I just don't see this one happening. I really don't. I think Spurs are wasting time here, to be honest. I think Savinho wants to come, but at the end of the day, is he really going to go on strike? Is he really going to push for that move that much?
Well, if he was going to do that, he would have done it already.
It doesn't make sense for him to do that. It's a World Cup year. He's like, I don't think there's any fear for Man City. If they keep him, he's going to kick up a fuss or anything like that. That doesn't make any sense to me, because at the end of the day, I think there's game time for him at Man City, and if he wants to get into that World Cup squad, he's going to be at his best. So I don't think he's got any time to down tools and all that kind of stuff. So for me, I think it's so unlikely this deal's going to happen. I can't even get myself to envisage it. So yeah, I don't see this being a remote possibility. I think we should already be moving on, to be honest.
Well, that's the Savinho situation. Let's move on to the Lucas Paqueta situation. As Fabrizio Romano says that Tottenham have made calls to understand the situation of West Ham attacker Lucas Paqueta. He's a player appreciated by the club. And one of the West Ham aggregators brought a quote from David Sullivan. I'm not sure. I mean, it must have been a fairly recent quote in the last 24 hours. It says, asked on if Lucas Paqueta could leave West Ham this week, and he says it's possible, but we'd have to sign a lot of players. And now we're not just relying on just one player coming into a club, we're relying on a lot of players coming into a club.
So basically, we're sitting here celebrating whenever West Ham sign a player. So we're going to be closer to Paqueta. Is that this is where our transfer window has left us? Yeah, I'm sure the situation is West Ham probably do not want to deal with us again, because they'll know the ramifications. They know that the West Ham fans are still probably not happy with the Kudus one. If they sell Paqueta to us, that's only going to aggravate them even more. But they did sell us Kudus, and if the money's right, that would suggest that they would sell Paqueta as well if the conditions are right. I think I've already shown that. So part of me before was like, surely they wouldn't do it again. But part of me is now thinking, I think they really are that soulless. Like, maybe they would. And maybe they don't really care, like what the West Ham fans think, and if the money's right, they'll do it. I would love Paqueta.
Kudus was pure evidence of that, man.
Yeah,
it was pure evidence, because they could have waited for Chelsea to come in.
Yeah, and they didn't. So I would love Paqueta. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think we haven't seen the best of him. Even in general in a West Ham shirt, I think we haven't seen the best of what he can really do. But I think obviously he's had good seasons, but last season was a particularly poor one for him. But I think he would fit us so well. I think he would fit Frank so well. I would love for us to get this deal done, but it's relying on a very incompetent recruitment system in West Ham getting lots of deals over the line.
It does seem that they are in talks with quite a few players at this moment.
Yeah, we heard Bilal Kounous potentially. So if they get him and a few others, maybe they would be prepared. But there's a few aspects. They're going to let go a load of players. We've got to stump up 60 million for him. So I think there's a lot of reasons why it won't happen.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I would absolutely love this deal to happen. Not only just because it will just rile up the West Ham fan base, but also I think he's a quality player. Man City, we spoke about yesterday, willing to spend 80 million on him a couple of years back, and they don't do that if he's just an average player. I think he's a really good player. Obviously didn't have a good season last year for one reason or another. One of those reasons being all the charges that were being put towards him regarding the bookings and the gambling and all that kind of stuff. But that's all in the past now. That's all behind him. He started the season well, scored a good goal against Chelsea in last week, and was one of the better players for West Ham. And also scored last night, didn't he, in the Carabao Cup in West Ham's 3-2 loss. So if I'm Lucas Paqueta right now, I'm looking around and being like, just get me out of this club. Seriously.
Agreed. He's, again, I'm seeing it says 28. I'm guessing it's his birthday today then, because yesterday we did it, he was 27.
Oh,
so
really?
Must be his birthday
Same
today.
Birthday as Ange.
He's not getting any younger, and he's got a...
Yeah, it is 27th of August.
27. Happy birthday, Lucas Paqueta. Let's hope we can get you a big move to the bigger club in London. Look, I completely agree. He needs to be playing Champions League football. He's not going to have too many more opportunities at 28 to move to a bigger club. I think this is one of his potentially last opportunities in the peak of his career to get this move. So I would be pushing for it for sure. I'd be trying to force a move if I'm him. Apparently, he's still quite loyal to West Ham, considering the fact they stood by him, but with the whole betting thing, and apparently, I don't know, maybe they've been very good to him. So obviously that, he's got personal loyalties and stuff. Look, that plays a part, but if he's thinking about the betterment of his career, he's got to be moving, because West Ham are going to be embroiled in a relegation battle. Is that what he wants to waste a year of his career at 28 doing that? I think he should be pushing for it. But look, I just feel like something just tells me that this is going to be too unlikely to get done. But I'd love it to happen.
In any deal that we're going to discuss, is there anything telling you that there's anything positive that is going to come? So
it's a great question.
So that's the Lucas Paqueta situation. Another one that we're going to talk about now is Xavi Simons of RB Leipzig. Obviously, we heard a lot about Simons earlier on in the window. We heard, he was all set to join Chelsea. That hasn't really seemed to have materialised. There's quite a few updates regarding him today. Bild are reporting that Tottenham have made an inquiry over signing Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig. Caught Offside says that Tottenham are lining up a shock swoop for Chelsea transfer target Xavi Simons, who is expected to leave RB Leipzig before the window shuts. Tom Barkley says that Xavi Simons understand there is some interest from Spurs. Chelsea has been his preference, but with that move stalling, potentially could open the door for Tottenham, but would be expensive, not only in fee, which would be around £60 million, but also in wages. It's one to watch as Leipzig are open to selling. And the latest update has been from Matt Law, who's been speaking literally in the last few minutes. And he says that Tottenham are holding talks over a pre-transfer deadline bid for Chelsea transfer target Xavi Simons. So a few people jumping on this now.
Well, it's a bit more to it. He says the likelihood is that Spurs will only make an offer if they believe they can quickly close a deal and minimise the threat of Chelsea stealing Simons away. And there is optimism he would be open to a move to North London despite his apparent interest in joining Chelsea.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the Chelsea one, he looked like guaranteed to join Chelsea. Now they're kind of linked to Fermin Lopez of Barcelona. I don't know what's going on with this, but it doesn't seem to be moving as swiftly as it once was.
It seems as though Chelsea need to sell players, because I think a lot of their business is stalled in the last few weeks. And Nkunku's still there. Jackson is still there. They're all up for sale for big money. They've still got, Sterling? He's still there?
He's still there, yeah.
Sterling's still there. So they need to, they really need to get rid of a lot of players before maybe spending the big money on Xavi Simons. And also, when you look at Xavi Simons, is he a major priority? When you look at they got Palmer, they got João Pedro in that position. So unless they get rid of the players that they're looking to, I think that's what's holding up the deal. I think Romano said that when it comes to the Xavi Simons thing, he said that Chelsea told Leipzig this deal only gets done if Leipzig take a player off their hands, and they haven't wanted to do that, or they haven't agreed to do that. So that tells me maybe right now they're not looking to spend that money. They're looking to spend a lot less and give away a player, unless they get the money they're looking for Jackson and Nkunku. But it seems as though they're demanding massive money for, especially Jackson. I don't know what the deal is with Nkunku. Yeah, but Jackson,
I think there's quite advanced talks with Bayern Munich at the moment.
I think Jackson's agreed personal terms, but are they going to agree to pay? I mean, they are. The opening price tag was 80 million,
nuts.
Which is nuts. I don't think Bayern are going to get anywhere near that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're willing to accept. So look, maybe there is an opening. Maybe we do. I guess I said this about Eze, but you put the money on the table and say, we want you right now. We're not, you don't have to wait around. There's no kind of hesitation here. We're really serious about you and we want you. But I think this is just a deal that's primed for a Chelsea hijack if we go in for it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those. I do believe it makes sense that he would want Chelsea, and that he's been in talks and is maybe his heart's set on Chelsea, big club, and they're always looking to win the big things, which obviously we're not at the moment. They've always been quite a trendy club for a lot of foreign players moving to London. They like going to Chelsea. They get paid good money and stuff like that, and also they're always competing for big trophies. So I think he's probably looked at that and thinking, yeah, I would love to go there. So if we come in for it, and then is he going to wait for Chelsea? That's the problem. Is he going to wait for Chelsea to come back in with a bid like Eze did? That's obviously the worry. So I understand, it says here we're only going to go for it if there's a likelihood that we can get it done quickly. And I guess we'll see whether we go for it or not.
What is quickly, though? There's just only 5 days left of the window.
Exactly, 24 hours.
It's got to be done exactly. So
like Arsenal did with Eze, swoop in and just get it done, get it. But how we do business is usually we like to stall and we like to comb
there's
over
no room
everything.
for that anymore. There's
I
no
know.
room for that. Like, there's literally 5 days left. If we're going to want to get anyone in, it has to all of the deal. Anyone that we have to bring in has to be a swift move to bring him in very quickly. There's no room for these Daniel Levy drawn out negotiations anymore. It's either you get the player or you don't. That's where we're at this moment in time. And with Xavi Simons, can you see Chelsea getting all these players off their books in the next 5 days?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a tall order. It's a big ask.
Look, the reality is it has stalled. They've been in talks to him for a long time now. It's been a few weeks. But then again, that was my logic when it came to Eze. That seemed to have stalled for Arsenal. And for weeks and weeks, for one reason or another, they just hadn't got over the line. So I genuinely thought maybe they had pulled out. And when we swooped in, I was like, okay, I really think Arsenal, they probably would have got it done already if they were going to get it done. Maybe Tottenham just activated him into action. Then they thought, you know what, we just can't let this deal go. And they just went and put the money up. And will that happen with Chelsea? Will they go, look, we can't let Tottenham get him? Is that going to happen? But you're right, it is. Look, it's stalled for one reason or another. Are they going to end up putting the money up and getting him? Is it dependent on all these players leaving?
The thing is, right, with the Arsenal and Eze thing, like, we never heard in the press about any other alternative targets that they were going for. Chelsea, we've heard, Garnacho that they want to get, the guy from Barcelona that they want to get. So there are other targets that are in play for Chelsea. So this isn't the only guy. And it seems as though to me, when you're following what's going on in the press, the Garnacho and the Barcelona kid, Fermin Lopez, they seem to be a bit more hot off the press at this moment in time than Xavi Simons.
Well, I know for a fact, not for a fact, sorry, but I think there was a report. I read a report yesterday. I think it was from Matt Law. He said that at this moment in time, Chelsea are prioritising a move for Garnacho over Xavi Simons due to the position. If that's the case, and they haven't got that one over the line yet, maybe there is an opening. But I just don't want to get too excited again. I really don't. We haven't heard anything about a deal being close, let's be honest. We've heard about talks. It's great that we're in talks with him. I said, remember, day after the Eze deal collapsed, I said, go and get Xavi Simons. That deal for Chelsea hasn't been done yet. Put the money on the table and go and get him. This has been, obviously, he would be probably top of the list and someone I'd want. I've wanted him all summer. I'm a massive fan of his talent. Even since he was at PSV, I thought he's been absolutely fantastic. But at the moment in time, he's been in talks with Chelsea for a long time. Are they waiting for something to happen for them to get this deal done? Will that thing, whatever it is they're waiting for, happen and we get gazumped yet again? Are we willing to, put the money down? I hope we are, and I'm sure we are. But who said it? Tom Barkley said there's a wages issue. What are his wage demands? Are we gonna have to break the wage structure? Is he going to ask for 300 grand? Are Chelsea going to be willing to pay him 250 to 300,000 over like an 8-year period or whatever, something stupid? And we're obviously not going to do that. Like, there's a lot of stuff potentially still would prevent Tottenham from doing a deal here, even if Chelsea do pull out. So
yeah, I'm looking at his wages right now. I'm looking at RB Leipzig's wage. Timo Werner's still their top earner.
That's crazy.
Nuts. But Xavi Simons is on 115 euros. So yeah, around 100 or just under 100 grand. So it's definitely something that Spurs can give him a big pay rise.
Yeah, we can give him a big pay rise. But what was he promised at Chelsea? You know what I mean? Was he promised like much bigger wages? Is he going to want that matched? Let's hope. Let's pray and hope, because this would be one hell of a transfer window save if we get Xavi Simons in. It would be incredible. It would be unbelievable. It's potentially even better than Eze. Like, in terms of, I think Eze's probably a better player right now, but when it comes to his ceiling and how good he could potentially be, his versatility, the quality he has, like, he's right up there. Does
he come in as a 10 or a left winger?
10 for sure. He's a 10. I think that's his best position. He's a 10.
Can play on the left wing as well. It's like very similar to Eze.
He's like a Foden. He's like that's how I describe him. He's very much like a Phil Foden kind of player. Like, he can do a job on the wing, but I think his best position is behind the striker or in the 10, really. I think he'd be a phenomenal. There's also one who reported it, saying this may potentially something with his attitude. Maybe he's got a bit of an ego about him.
Leipzig fans have suggested that, yeah.
Yeah, but is that because they've just been terrible, and maybe it's like similar to what we've seen with like players at West Ham and stuff, like when their team's having a terrible season and they see themselves should be at a team challenging for Champions League, it's hard, like they get disillusioned. Is that what's happened, or has that always been an issue? He's always had an ego. I know at PSG, I think there were potentially some attitude problems there, if I remember, which I think made them go on loan and some stuff. I don't know. Look, I actually don't know for sure. Like, I haven't read up on if I know like he has an ego and stuff, but I have heard that mentioned, and we know Frank has a no dickheads policy. So I don't know if that would come into effect.
Yeah, look, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it does. This just stinks of another embarrassment for Tottenham if we go heavy into him, and then Chelsea end up getting him on deadline day or something like that. So let's hope Spurs can just put that money down on the table right here, right now, and get something done quickly, because, yeah, like you said, this will be save of the century if we can get someone of his quality through the door. Next up, we're going to talk about Antoine Semenyo, as Fabrizio Romano said last night that Semenyo has been discussed internally in the last 24 hours at Tottenham Hotspur, but it would be a difficult deal to do. However, Graham Bailey says that Bournemouth have laughed off suggestions that Semenyo could leave the club during this window. Look, if you wanted Semenyo at the beginning of the window was the time to get him, before they sold all the players that they did sell this summer. I think he's signed a new contract this summer as well. So, I mean, it makes it even harder to do. Start the season off on fire, Antoine Semenyo. And, yeah, I can't see Bournemouth sanctioning a sale at this moment, this late in the window.
Look, at the beginning of the window, before he signed his contract, they were talking about 70 million. So that's only going to be more. He has signed a contract, so he's committed his future this summer to Bournemouth. So I don't see him pushing for a move in the same window he committed his future. That does make sense to me. So that means Bournemouth, you know, they've already lost so many players this summer. I don't see them not demanding top whack for him. So I don't see Tottenham paying what they weren't prepared to pay at the beginning of the window for him now. Doesn't make sense to me. So, I don't think this is realistic by any stretch of the imagination.
Next up, let's go back and talk about Morgan Rogers. A very interesting update regarding Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa, as the Footy Insider say that Tottenham are accelerating in a move to sign Morgan Rogers. Tottenham are hopeful of agreeing a cut price deal due to the Villains' financial problems. At this point, you just got to laugh, man.
If you don't
Seriously,
laugh,
at this point, you got to laugh, because that is just Tottenham in a nutshell, first and foremost. Yeah, let's go try putting a 45 million or 40 million bid,
price.
40 million euro bid for Morgan Rogers, and let's test the waters with Aston Villa.
That's what I said there. What we're going to do, we're going to try and get a cut price deal, because that's all we'd like to do. We don't like to overpay for players. That's not in Levy's remit. We're thinking, are Villa in a poor position? Can we get him for a cheap deal? It's never going to happen, especially at this late stage of the deal. I mean, we're in dreamland. I think Levy is just so... Look, first of all, it's Footy Insider, so I don't know how reliable it is. But if there is truth to it, like, Levy is just still thinking he's in 2008 or something, honestly. I think he's so behind the times.
Who?
Huh?
Who'd you say? Who's behind the times?
Levy.
Oh, yeah. But I think... I mean, first of all, I don't believe this whatsoever. I don't even think Spurs were even going to try with a cut price deal. I think this is just being put out there to rile up the Spurs fan base.
Yeah,
really.
probably.
I think that's what it is.
And it's doing its job.
I think it's just there to get clicks, and that's about it. Like, this is the most bullshit story that you can ever get. Next up, this story broke last night regarding Adrien Rabiot, as Fabrice Hawkins says that Tottenham are amongst the clubs who have held talks with Adrien Rabiot's entourage. No club-to-club contact has been made so far. AC Milan and Aston Villa also are in the mix, but none of the teams have contacted Marseille yet. And L'Equipe are reporting that Tottenham could soon make an offer for central midfielder Adrien Rabiot. Rabiot has fallen out with Roberto De Zerbi after a fight broke out with Bologna-bound Jonathan Rowe. Yeah, I mean... You've got to get the okay from his mum first. He's got to get through his mum before you get to anyone else with Adrien Rabiot. But nah, I mean, come on. The time has been and gone. Hasn't he rejected us like 3 times in the past or something?
I don't think there's any truth to this. I think our name's just being thrown in there to garner interest and drum up interest. I think this is all agent talk. I doubt we've even looked at him, to be honest. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't see why I would be interested in him right now, but it's a player we don't need, a player who's rejected us 3 times, a player who's, by the way, does definitely fit into the dickhead policy, and it doesn't make any sense to me. We'll go for him. So he's not number 10. I just think Hawkins has thrown a load of names together and put ours in it. I don't think there's any truth to it whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's talk about Luka Vuskovic, because Romano said yesterday that Hamburg have got the green light from Tottenham regarding a loan move for Luka to go to the Bundesliga. No buy option, obviously, straight loan, and seen as a key part of the future project at Tottenham. Huge talent. I mean, all of that goes without saying, obviously. But yeah, with him getting the green light from Spurs to finally go out on loan, does that suggest that we're getting a centre-back? Is Dragusin going to be quicker than we all anticipate? Is Kota Takai, who nobody's talking about at this moment in time, going to be part of the squad? Like, what the hell's going on?
Could be none of the above, to be honest. Not knowing this club. I just think we feel Vuskovic needs another year of development, and that's fair. If he's only 18, despite the fact whenever he's played in pre-season, he's quite good. So if I told you after the Reading game he's going to be going out on loan without potentially no replacement, that would have seemed a bit silly. But here we are, and that's looking the most likely scenario. I don't think it suggests we're close to anyone coming in, although I think it should. I think, like, in reality, it should mean we're bringing someone in. I don't necessarily think it does, and I just think I think maybe we're going to go with what we got right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, does it suggest that Dragusin might be back soon? Because we need that fourth centre back. We can't go in surely without only 3.
Yeah. Or Takai. I know Takai is getting closer, but I don't know if he's considered an option. I got no idea what's going on with him.
No one ever talks. Not even Frank. No one ever talks about Kota Takai.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. Like, what the hell is it all about?
Which always, like, this is what annoys me when you when we linked with him first, and all these people doing videos. Look how good he is, and like people are going to be surprised by him, and blah blah blah. And then he comes and it's like not even considered an option potentially. Like, what's the point?
Was from Ali Gold when we signed him is that he's come here to be part of the first team. Mm-hmm. That's what the report was.
Yeah,
that's why we've signed him.
Well, maybe he will be still, and then they'll be fine. So if that's the case, apparently he's back training, not with the team, but individual training. So maybe after the international break he'll be available, and then we'll get to see. But he's had no pre-season. I doubt I can see Frank throwing him straight in. He's going to have to bet him in.
Well, he has had no pre-season, but he's coming off the back of playing in the Japanese league. Like,
okay, but he hasn't been training with our team.
Yeah, true.
So that's a problem.
I'm saying, like, in terms of pre-season, it's a lot. I know it's a lot tactical as well, but it's a lot about fitness. Like, in terms of the fitness side of things, I know he's been injured, but he has been playing week in, week out.
When did we sign him? In July, early or June?
We signed him just before pre-season, I think, just before the start of pre-season. When we went to Luton, I think he'd been at the club for like
because he I think we just signed him because remember he turned up late to that Luton game, didn't he? Yeah. And he was walking around the pitch.
Yeah, and the weekend before that he played in the Japanese
what date
league.
Is that? That's
early July.
So he hasn't played since then.
Yeah.
So you're potentially, when he comes back on for international break, that's September. That's 2 months.
Yeah.
So he hasn't played any football. He hasn't been training with our team because he's been injured, or we haven't seen him in training. Like, it's going to take a while for him to bed back in, and also probably rebuild himself.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong there. But look, we'll see what happens on that situation. The last one, there's a recent report from the Bleacher Report that says that Tottenham Arsenal have joined Leeds in their surprise pursuit of Brentford captain Nathan Collins. I mean, there is no chance Brentford let Nathan Collins go with 5 days left of the window after just naming him captain, after how they've been stripped so much already. This is just a non-starter for me.
Yeah, and it's the Bleacher Report anyway, so I don't think there's any truth to it. I'm sure Frank knows him. I'm sure he appreciates him. But Brentford would be crazy to let him go right now with 5 days left. They've already lost so much, so I don't think there's any truth to this. Why would Arsenal go for him? No, they're just getting Nketiah, so that doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah, what is happening with Nketiah? Because since the reports, when was that? A few days ago, we haven't really heard any.
Well, the latest updates is that Arsenal don't want to pay what Leverkusen want for him.
Well, there you go. That's why Arsenal want him then.
No, but I think they'll get a deal done. I don't think they're moving on already to Collins. It doesn't make sense to me. Liverpool obviously want Guehi. Maybe he's a backup to that. I don't believe any of this. I
think Guehi's going to end up staying at Palace, you know?
He might do, but I just don't believe any of these reports about Collins to any of these teams.
Yeah. All right, well, that is the Tottenham update for today. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding any of these stories. Do you believe for 1 second that Spurs are going to get any of these players over the line? All these, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, all these players, they just seem all totally unrealistic, to be honest, most of them. That's just the truth. Like, all of them...
Out of every single one of these reports, I think the most realistic are probably Paqueta and Xavi Simons. And even them, I can't really see us getting.
Yeah, I just think even that, at this late stage, with Simon still probably holding out for Chelsea, with Paqueta, with us relying on West Ham signing a bunch of players, and also West Ham dealing with us, and Tottenham spending 60 million on him. Like, there's a lot of reasons why that deal won't happen as well. Like, all these, it seems just like a mad scramble for unrealistic targets, which very low percentage chance of getting any of them over the line.
Yeah,
that's what it seems.
That's true, but also when we first got linked to Mohamed Kudus, we thought that was an unrealistic target as well. So you never know what can happen in the last 5 days.
I know, but we can't keep going back to that saying, well, we signed Kudus, so anything's possible. Like, yeah, clearly West Ham felt he had a bad season and were willing to sell him, and we got there ahead of Chelsea. Fair enough. That was a deal I didn't think possible, only because we got him off West Ham. But these deals just seem even more unlikely, to be honest, when you look at the context of the deals that need to be done.
But as well, I feel like we look at it more negatively because of what we've been through this summer.
Not necessarily. I even if we hadn't been through, I'd be looking at these deals thinking they're all very unlikely and all very low percentage.
Fine, that might be true, but I guarantee you, if we hadn't gone through what we've gone through this summer, you'd get a lot more excited about these deals than what you're getting.
I'm not. Maybe, but that's probably fair because we've got a lot of PTSD of what's happened this summer. I get that. I'd be a lot more excited about the potential of them happening. But right now, we're not hearing any deals agreed. We're not hearing any bids even put in as of yet. We're not hearing we're close to anything. We're looking at the conditions of all the deals and the potentials of all the deals that we're lining up for. And just objectively, they are all very unlikely to happen or are all very hard to pull off and all very low percentage chance of happening. Mm-hmm. So this isn't me saying, we failed with Gibbs White, we failed with Eze, so we're going to fail with these ones. I'm just looking objectively at all these deals, and there's nothing that objectively I think is easy to do or is a good chance we can get done.
What is ever easy to do for Tottenham Hotspur?
If you put a report saying Tottenham have opened talks with Leicester for LPL, El Canoes, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We can probably get that done. That's probably a high percentage chance. That would be different. I'm talking about these deals that have been put forward in these links, right? I'm saying all of them are very low percentage, and all of them are there's a lot of reasons why all of them won't happen, and they're all very, very difficult to do, especially at this late stage. Mm-hmm. So, it's hard for me to get excited about any of these deals right now until I'm hearing that we're close or something's really advancing. Nothing is advanced yet on these deals, as of yet. So, we'll just have to wait and see. But we've left ourselves in a very tight spot here.
Yeah, as we do pretty much every summer. So, nothing new here at Tottenham Hotspur. All we're going to have to do is sit and wait. Don't worry, guys, it's nearly over. 5 days left to go. And
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because Josh was saying, yesterday in the WhatsApp group, I just want this transfer window to close. I'm just desperate for it to close now because I'm just sick of it. And it got me thinking, if the window was closed right now, today, we would all be so happy because we've just beaten City. We're top of, we beat Burnley 3-0. Frank is doing so well. Every game we play at the moment, we're doing well. At the moment, it's like we play and then this transfer window completely beats us down and we're all losing our minds because we haven't got this player and that player. And fair enough, there's a reason for it, right? Because we need players in certain positions. I understand it. I'm just saying, once that window closes and we're just winning games without this madness of the window, we can just relax a bit. It just feels like we're all on edge at the moment because we just know we need to get these players through the door and nothing seems to be happening. And even though we're winning on the weekend, it's still cool. There's still so much depression in this fan base at the moment.
Yeah, but it's only 2 games. It's only 2 games. Like, we're desperate for these players. It's not that we just want them just because, you know, we want us to have that kind of dopamine hit of making signings. We want these players because we're in desperate need of them. So if the window was to shut yesterday, I would still be as frustrated because we haven't got the targets that we've needed. There's still massive holes in the squad.
All right, but
yes, fine. It's been great at the start of the season. Frank's doing unbelievably well with the first 2 games, but a couple of injuries, and then we're like down to our bare bones again.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, but you're talking like this because the window is still open and we need to get these players. If let's say that the window closed before the start of the season, right? Well, no one would be talking about after each win, oh yeah, but we don't have this player. Everyone would just be happy that we're winning and happy that we're playing well.
But when it falls flat on his arse, like it usually does, then we're going to go back to the window.
But it hasn't yet. That's my point. So we would all currently still be happy. Like, we wouldn't be just going crazy on the transfer window like we currently are because it's still open, and that opportunity of all of it changing is there.
It's short-term happiness.
Of course, that's football. Football is game by game. You live in the moment. That's what football's about.
You live in the moment, but you also you got to think ahead and you got to plan ahead, and it's something that we haven't been doing.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the window is obviously making us all go crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not saying it's wrong because I understand. Look, I've more than anyone want new signings, want a new player. I'm just saying if the window had closed before the start of the season, like, none of us would be in the same headspace we are right now.
Yeah, maybe.
It's true. We wouldn't. We'd just be happy that we're playing well and winning. And like, we wouldn't look the next game and if something goes wrong down the line, that's down the line's problem. Like, right now, a lot of that we're playing well. We've just been to Man City and won. Frank is showing a lot of tactical flexibility, showing a lot of impressive things. So like, that would be the focus. But right now, it's like we win and we're happy for like 24 hours, and the focus goes right back to what we're doing in the window, who are we signing, how do we get that in. Obviously, we can't do that if the window's closed, can we? It's just about the focus will continue on how good we're playing.
I don't know, man. I think I'd be frustrated even if the window was shut because we're just desperate. Look, I agree that I'm happy with the way things are going. I'm happy with the way Frank is dealing with the situations. But once we come up against a team that sits low, we're not going to be able to break them down, and we're going to draw a lot of games. And that's when the frustration is going to settle in.
But yeah, I know that hasn't happened yet, is my point.
Yeah, but it's not the point it hasn't happened. We know it's going to happen.
We don't know that because it hasn't happened.
Yeah, but
you can predict it.
If you're a betting man, you would say it is going to happen.
You can predict it,
So
but that's my point.
Yeah, fine, you can predict it, but you know it's going to happen. Come on, don't be...
yeah,
just
probably.
A contrarian here.
It's not.
It's going to happen.
I never said it's not happening. I'm just saying that wouldn't be the focus right now. If the window was closed, you wouldn't be after each win saying, "Yeah, but we don't have this player," and be unhappy and frustrated. You'd just be focusing on the win.
Today we would be delighted, but then tomorrow we'd be very frustrated.
No, because the window's closed. What's there to be frustrated about if the window's closed?
Because we didn't do the business in the window.
Right, but that's not the point.
It is the point.
It's not
the exact point.
It's not because
it's not the point because you say it's not the point.
No, it's not the point. If the window was closed, there's no point complaining because it'll already be closed.
Oh, trust me, we've done our fair share of complaining. Yeah, once windows have been shut.
Yeah, when we started failing.
Yeah, and that's going to happen.
I understand that. Okay, whatever. You're missing my point. It's fine. Let's move on.
Anyway. That is our Tottenham update, and let us know in the comment section below, do you feel like any of these deals will get over the line? Because obviously it's a very frustrating time, so try shed some light into the situation. What's an interesting thing, the FC26, I don't know if they're predicted or official, but ratings have been released, and we're going to be reacting to them because I think they're an abomination. These ratings are an absolute abomination. You got to have a look at these. We're going to be going through each of them. Let's go from bottom to top. So you can see them all there on the right-hand side of the screen. Dragusin is the lowest rated member in the squad. Same level of rating as Ben Davis. Our only 2 silver cards in the squad. 74 for Ben Davis and Radu Dragusin. First of all, I think that's, massive disrespect to Ben Davis, but I think it's even bigger disrespect to Radu. Like, seriously, 74 and silver cards. What is that all about?
Yeah, I mean, he was bad last season. He had an ACL. Was he that bad that he's a 74? Like, that is harsh. That is very harsh. What is he individually? 75 defending, 75 is... I mean, his physicality, shouldn't he be better than 75? That seems harsh. Isn't he at least an 80? 74 seems a bit of a violation, to be honest. Poor guy. Ben Davis... Look, for me, I don't even think that's harsh.
How is it not harsh? 100% harsh. 74.
Maybe 75. I mean, how much better do you want him to be?
I would say at least a 76.
Okay, 76. Fair.
74.
Yeah, he should be a
He's got
gold.
a silver card as well.
Yeah, he should be a gold. Yeah, come on. That's a bit harsh.
Whenever he steps in, fine. Like some games, I think he always does a good job when he steps in, more or less. Like. Anyway, them two 74. Wilson Odobert 75. What do you say about Wilson Odobert 75?
I mean, it's fair. What can I say?
Yeah.
I think it's fair. Like, from what he's shown at Burnley and Tottenham, like, there's nothing to suggest he's anything more than potential at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
but he has the same rating as Lucas Bergvall, which is also 75.
yeah, I think it's a bit ridiculous. I know, look, to be fair, Bergvall, in theory, he's been in the Swedish league, and then last season he got a Player of the Year, but it wasn't like he played it was only really from the second half of the season, wasn't it? So if he's come from the Swedish league, I don't know what he was last year in FIFA, but I'm guessing he was low, maybe even high 60s, low 70s. So he's probably had a significant jump from that. But
It's true, but it's judged on the previous season, right? And last season, like you say, our Player of the Year had a stunning second half of the season. And for him to be rated lower than Archie Gray, I think it's just nuts.
yeah, I think so as well. He was better than Gray last season by a landslide. So why is Gray... Basically, Gray's better than him based off Gray having a good season in the Championship.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird to me.
Yeah. Another abomination is Jed Spence at 76. Obviously, he started the season unbelievably well. Had I guess you could say it was a breakout season for Jed last year. So maybe a lower rating was expected, but I still think 76 is very low for him.
Yeah, I think that's a bit ridiculous. He was fantastic last season when he came in. He has to be at least a 79 or something. Like 76 is so low.
He had a similar amount, if not less, game time than Lucas Bergvall.
Yeah, but he's had a very good season before that. And he's played, I think he played probably a lot more games than Bergvall. He's a bit more experienced than Bergvall. I think it's different. I think he should be a lot higher. Yeah, Virgo's like a young player who like had a breakout season. I know Spence had a bit of a breakout season last season, but he's more of an experienced. He's like older fullback. I think for me he should be higher than 76.
In terms of like experience in the
Why is he
Spurs
lower
shirt,
than Gray?
Yeah, that is just nuts. Like Archie Gray is either overrated or these players are very much underrated.
And physicality 63. What's that about? They have watched Jed Spence. Have they seen him play? 63.
Defending 71. That defending needs to be up as well.
Yeah, 71. That's nuts. Why is he better dribbling than defending? I don't think that's true.
These guys have no clue what they're doing, seriously. They have absolutely no clue. Archie Gray is 77, Spence 76, and Bergvall 75. Make it make sense, people. Like, what is that all about?
So, let me get this right. Gray is 77 physicality and Spence is 63. What?
Bergvall and Gray are more physical than Spence, apparently. And Dragoshin is the same amount of physicality as Bergvall, and Gray has higher physicality than Dragoshin.
What is it? What's physicality? What comes into physicality? I'm guessing it's not just strength. What else is it? So I'm guessing maybe stamina.
In FIFA, it's got to be only strength, right? Like in FIFA terms.
I don't know. Apparently, I don't know. Apparently not. I don't know what else goes into it. Anyway. I don't know, but still, regardless, it seems ridiculous that Gray is so high. Gray's card is actually pretty good. 79 pace, 76 passing, 79 dribbling, 75 defending, 77 physicality. It's a pretty good card for a player who didn't have a great year.
Madness. Next up is Matisse Tell, 78, which is, probably fair.
Fair. Yeah,
Brennan Johnson, 80, which, I think is fair. Pape, 80, which, Pretty fair.
Brennan's 80 dribbling. It says here that Brennan is a better dribbler than Odobert and Tell. That makes no sense. Make it make sense.
Pape, Danso, Bissouma, Richarlison, Sarr and Johnson all on the same rating.
So Pape's same physicality as Gray. That's Pape's one of the most physical. Potentially, he's got one of the most physical players in the league. His stamina and
Gray's higher physicality than both Dragsheen and Bissouma.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I don't understand these ratings. They're absolute bizarre. I think is the word I would use.
Yeah,
bizarre. Gray's better than shooting at Sarr. What evidence is there for that? What have I ever seen Gray take a shot? I don't think he's taken a shot in a Spurs shirt. What
That's why
evidence?
they're just guessing, like, oh yeah, he looks like he could be good at shooting.
Sarr shoots, and he's actually not bad. Like, what evidence do they have that Gray's better than Sarr at shooting?
Well,
Madness.
Are you happy with Brennan Johnson 78 for shooting?
Yeah, I mean, he should be higher, to be honest.
Yeah,
probably should be higher. Yeah.
Next up, so there's those players. We've got Richarlison on 80. The next tier is Bentancur and Solanke, both on 81. I think that's fair.
I think both could be a bit higher, to be honest. Look, Solanke didn't have a great year. I'll give him that, but he was probably 80. I don't know what he was last year. Was he 83? I mean, it's a bit of a drop. It's a bit harsh, but I think Bentancur should definitely be higher. But again, hasn't been that great last couple of years, to be fair. But I think he will be higher. He'll get an upgrade. I'm certain of that.
And then the 82s are Pedro Porro, Decky, and Mickey van der Ven. I mean, Mickey has got to be higher than 82 in my opinion. Decky, yeah, I mean, Decky is probably...
I think he could be higher. I think he could be higher.
Maybe. Pedro Porro should be higher, though.
Yeah,
like 82.
I think all of those three should be 84s, to be honest. They should be 84. And passing, so Porro's passing, Decky's passing, and Bentancur's all the same, 80 passing. It's not bad.
So, yeah, I mean,
Porro should be a lot higher, yeah.
Yeah, Pedro Porro's like one of the best, if not the best, attacking right back in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying I'm sure there are a lot of right backs that are higher than him in the Premier League.
It says here Porro's faster than Sarr, pace.
His shooting is 73. His passing is 80, Pedro Porro.
Yeah, I think that should be like 83, 84.
Just trying to see something. No, there's no one below him that's actually better than him, but it should be better than that. Like Porro, Kulusevski, Van der Ven, yeah. I mean, I would say Kulusevski 83, Porro and Van der Ven 84. That's what I would say. And then the 83s, we've got 4 of them. Udogi, Kudus, Vicario, and Romero. I mean, if you're judging by last season, like, there's no reason why Kudus should be above, like, Pedro Porro or Kulusevski or Mickey van der Ven.
It's weird how they judge certain people harshly on a bad season and certain ones not.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, Van der Ven at one point, I know he was an 84.
Oh, was he?
I think at one point when he was. And now he's like, it's been quite harshly judged, I think.
I don't understand how Udogi is rated higher than Pedro Porro. I just don't get that. Like, Udogi was out for the majority of last season.
He had a good end to the season, but beginning of the season...
But Porro played every game, and he was like, you know, it was an argument to say that he could have been our player of the season last year.
Trying to see, he's a dribbling 82, defending 80, physicality 82, passing 74, pace 89. I mean, it's 89, 83 is very big for a dog. I think when he's at his best, he is that good, but unfortunately, he's just had a lot of injury problems, hasn't he?
Yeah. But Romero 83, man, come on. The guy's a World Cup winner, 2-time Copa America winner, the heir to the captaincy of Messi, you know? He's our captain now. He didn't have the best season last year, but everyone can agree that he's a top-quality centre-back, and he should be one of the highest-rated centre-backs in the Premier League.
I think he's disrespected, 100%. 84 defending, 81 physical. I mean, physicality, again, it should be higher than 81. I've just clocked Gray has a higher physicality than Kudus. That's crazy. What is this game? What are these stats?
Oh, mate.
How's that possible? How is that possible?
Udogi has higher physicality than Romero. Solanke has higher physicality than Romero.
Yeah, but
So does Mickey van der Ven.
That doesn't make sense. I think Solanke and Udogie are quite physical. I think that kind of makes sense. But I think Van der Ven shouldn't. Romero, what's it? Passing 56. So Van der Ven is better passing than Romero.
That's what it says here. Yeah.
What? Do they watch Romero?
What's Romero's passing?
56. Is that one
Brennan
of the worst?
Johnson has better passing than him by some distance.
By some distance. So does Danso.
So does Bissouma.
Dragoshin isn't even that much
So
worse.
does Richarlison.
What?
So does Sarr. So does Tell.
So basically, Romero's the worst
So
passer
does-
in the squad.
So does Davis. So does Odebear.
So apart from
Bergval. Spence. Gray.
apart from Dragoshin, he's the worst. Yeah. That's what they're saying. What is this? What am I reading?
You want to see an even bigger abomination? You want to see an even bigger, the most disrespect that they've given to Coutinho Romero in this year's game? Look at this stat. Davinson
What the
Sanchez
hell?
is rated higher than Coutinho Romero.
Wait, but that's 82. It says he's an 83. I don't know. I don't know if that was
Either
last
way,
year.
if they're
Either
the
way.
same or he's one below, that's still an abomination.
It says there, apparently that means his passing stats have dropped. It says here 56, and there he's a 62. It's crazy.
Either way, regardless of the exact numbers, if he's 82 or 83 and Sanchez is 83, it's an absolute disgrace.
How
Like,
they
Romero
rate
should be at
Sanchez?
least 10 points above Sanchez.
Crazy. Anyone who's seen them both play should know that Romero's 5 times the defender Sanchez is.
This is madness, what I'm seeing right now. It's absolutely
It's actually
madness.
a disgrace.
Paulinia's got better passing than Romero by some distance
Wow,
as well.
physicality 89, defending 85 fair.
Yeah.
Pace 50, bloody hell. That is
Yeah.
slow.
Paulinia and Maddison are two best rated players in the game, 84.
And Maddison's obviously out for the season. Shooting 80. So it says here, Tell has better shooting than Maddison. Interesting. Passing 85, dribbling 86. I just think that's mad that they've rated Romero is basically the worst passer in the squad when he's one of the best passing centre-backs in the league.
In the world. In the world. But look, the FC 26 ratings, you are an absolute disgrace.
Mudded.
You are an absolute disgrace. And I, for one, I didn't buy the game last year. I don't think I bought it the year before. I most definitely will not be buying it this year, that's for sure, after those ratings. No chance. Absolute shit show of Tottenham ratings that they've given this year.
Get yourself together, FC 26. I think they've absolutely shat the bed on that one.
Yeah, they really have. Yeah, but look, as people are mentioning in the comments, Football Manager, the new Football Manager is going to be released pretty soon. So it'll be interesting to see what they've rated the Spurs players because, I mean, they're a lot more accurate than FIFA, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they're more in depth. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so when they come out, we'll be reacting to them as well. But that is the FC 26 ratings for the this season's game. And I guess that's it. I mean, maybe there was a couple of super chats. I think there was.
Oh, yeah, Anup.
Anup Nairan says, we should go all in for Xavi Simons. Don't tell us
Absolutely.
that. Don't tell us that. Tell the guy at the top. Tell Mr. Levy.
Yeah. Look, there's very few chances that we got to save our window from the total embarrassment that it has been. Xavi Simons is definitely one of those. But, you know, we have to get ahead of Chelsea. We have to put the money on the table. We have to convince Xavi Simons to come. We have to get the deal done quickly. It's going to be a tall order. But, look, if we know Leipzig are willing to sell, we know Simons wants to come to the Premier League, and I'm sure he'd be happy to come to London. And if Chelsea's not an option, then I can see him being interested in coming to Tottenham. Maybe there is an opening there, but no, Tottenham don't like to exploit those kind of situations often.
Yeah. And last but not least, Toby W, members chat, member for 30 months, saying, keep up the great work, lads. Hopefully we'll get 2 signings in, but even one is looking iffy. Who's your ideal target?
Ooh, I think Simons would be the ideal. I think yeah, Paqueta would probably be my number 2. Maybe then Akalush after that. That's for like the number 10, I guess, position. I'm not even including Rodgers. I just don't think that's even a remote possibility. Then for the winger, yeah, I'd still like Savinho, but I think that deal's dead. So after that, I don't know who I'd want on the wing. Who other wingers are there we're linked with?
Other wingers that we've linked with, no one serious.
Yeah, Semenyo ain't happening.
Semenyo ain't happening. Savinho's not happening. Lookman.
Oh, Lookman. Yeah, we didn't talk about Lookman. Actually, he would be my go-to.
If you could save this window with a Lookman and one of Paqueta or Xavi Simons,
that's good.
Then I think everyone will be a lot more calm.
Agreed. I think that's actually not a bad end to the window. That'll be pretty good. That's something we can work with. Yeah. I'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest. All
right. Well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, tomorrow is another day. This evening is the Carabao Cup draw for the third round, so we'll be covering that later on this evening. And tomorrow is the Champions League draw, people. So very much looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll see you all very soon, people. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.